support, and we're working together to build a stronger community. And we can't do it by ourselves. On behalf of the Detroit Police Department, you have our support. We're here for you. So with that being said, give it to Mr. Johnson, and we're going to start.
So before I say anything, let me just say I'm really grateful and thankful from the bottom of my heart of Officer Eric Hill. I think this 11 precinct team, it's evident that law enforcement, and you'll hear Rich Ike since from DEA talk later, but they're not just about locking people up. They're about helping people. And they understand how addiction has affected communities, how it's affected families, and how it affects the quality of life. And so it's an honor when we can sit here and partner with our local law enforcement, our national law enforcement like DEA. We also have Mr. Wade Wright, who represents 36th District Court Drug Court, and he's the drug court coordinator, where he works day in and day out to make sure that we give people second chances. And lastly, I want to say this. Prior to producing this documentary, we had about 80 hours of footage. And so we took those 80 hours of footage and created a 45-minute powerful documentary. And this documentary are testimonies of people in recovery that represent the Detroit metropolitan area. And these people were very blunt, very raw, and very honest, and they're now living meaningful, productive, drug-free lives. So I'm more excited to see this young lady named LaShawn Battle, this young man, Michael Johnson, who has continued to be a stellar and a pillar in our community. So let's enjoy this documentary and make sure we acknowledge again the Detroit Police, Eric Hill for his leadership skills, and also acknowledge the owner of Bel Air, who was gracious enough to allow us to come here and watch this documentary.
I'm responsible for the daily operation of the Drug Treatment Court and the Veterans Treatment Court. And what that is, very briefly, is if you have an open misdemeanor case and you suffer with an addiction, when you come to court, you tell the judge that you suffer with an addiction or you have a problem, and then we'll take your case under abeyance so that your case can ultimately be dismissed. And what you'll be going through in the interim is some tough love and intensive probation. And the goal is that you're going to close the ugly chapter and never open it again. And that's what we're there for. So if you have an open case, or you know someone that has an open case, and you know they have addiction, a lot of people won't come out and say they have an addiction. But we are there to help you. So if you have any challenges and you have an open case, a misdemeanor case at 36th District Court, please come and seek us out. And thank you for having me here, and I thank you, Officer Hill, for having us here as well.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Rich Isaacson. I'm a special agent with the Drug Enforcement Administration. And DEA, certainly what we do in the DEA is we investigate the largest drug trafficking organizations that are operating here across the country. But we recognize, and we have recognized for a while, that we have such a large drug use problem in this country that we have to attack the drug use issue, the drug epidemic, from all angles. Law enforcement is just one part of that, and we recognize the importance of prevention and education and recovery and treatment. And we know that recovery works, and that's why we're all trying to work together to attack this problem from a holistic 360-degree approach. So I appreciate community programs like this. I've gotten to know Andre Johnson over the last 20 years, Officer Hill over the last 15 years, and I really appreciate the work that they do. So thank you for having me here today.
Good afternoon. My name is Felicia Berry. I'm a therapist with St. John Open Arms. St. John Open Arms is a program for grieving children and families and individuals that have been impacted by trauma. It could be sexual assault, domestic violence, abuse, and recently we've taken on the issue of human trafficking that is here in our state, it's in our backyard. And what I'm finding with those individuals that we're working with, oftentimes they self-medicate to overcome the pain of the trauma. An individual may have had 1 or 2 glasses of wine, but when the trauma hits, it takes more. So oftentimes what we want to do is go to the source of the pain. Our services are free of charge. We provide counseling in an individual, family, and support group setting. I think I said there's no cost. And we're located here in Kindred Hospital on the 4th floor, and we provide transportation round trip at no cost. We've had a relationship with the 11th precinct here in the community, and we're all just working together. It takes a village, so, and I think that's it.
Good morning, my name is Crystal Fields, I'm with Jefferson East. I'm the Clean and Safe Director, and just want to let you know that we also have some free services for residents who are in our service area. To include, we're giving away free car clubs, we're giving away free anti-theft devices for the home, and just recently we formed a partnership with Wayne State University to put domestic violence advocates in 2 of the precincts. No matter what police precinct you live in, the police department has been nice enough to make space available for domestic violence advocates. So if there's any intimate partner violence in the home, there are advocates at the precinct who can assist the victim in putting together a safety plan to escape from the situation, because oftentimes once that decision is made to leave the home, that's the most dangerous point in time. So there's a lot of services that we offer. We can talk about that a little later. I'll give out my phone number later so that you can get some resources, but it's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike and I'm a recovering person.
Hey, Mike.
This month I celebrated 37 years of recovery. You know, a lot of people know me. I've been in recovery 37 years. I've been a counselor for 35 years. And one thing that I've always done is, because it was taught to me that way, I've always respected everybody who came to see me. You know, I never had an opinion of you once I saw you. You know, and what the beautiful thing is, a lot of people praise me and they talk about how I have helped them. What a lot of people don't understand is how much you have helped me. In that, as you chose me to walk with you on the path of recovery, a lot of times you forced me to see things in myself I didn't want to see. When I looked at the courage and the enthusiasm that you had in addressing your issues, it made me have the same amount of courage and enthusiasm to face my own. So you guys always want to thank me for how much I've done for you. It's time for me to thank you for how much you've done for me. So thank you very much.
Hi, so sorry that I'm running late today. I was at another meeting, but I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Deb Ora Mitchell. I'm from the Youth Connection, and not only do I work with the Youth Connection, but I also work with the Prevention Collaborative. And the Prevention Collaborative is very active in making sure that we get drugs off of our streets. And we have a saying that if your name's not on the bottle, it's not yours to swallow. And that was something that was developed by our youth, and we call it a 6-word story. And so a lot of us, if we're honest, have given drugs to our friends. I got a headache. Can I have, do you have a pain pill? Yeah, I got one. Now if your name's not on the bottle, it's not yours to swallow. So if your friends have a headache, they need to go to the store and get, their own or go to a doctor. So one of the things we also found as we dealt with our youth and our seniors is that we have a lot of pills laying around. And a lot of times we have family members that have passed on. They had lots of drugs that are just sitting there. And that was a way that our kids were getting into those drugs. And so we hold a drug take back twice a year, and we do that in connection with the DEA and the Detroit Police Department, yay. And we make sure that we take those drugs off the street and that they're not there for little Johnny to go to his pill parties and have a good time with. So thank you very much, and hopefully I can answer any questions you might have regarding that.
My name is LaShawn Battle. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I've been clean for 22 years. I work for George Page. I'm a street reporter instead of a street walker. It's a lot different. Recovery is real. Especially for me. Like Mike said, some of y'all talk about how much I helped y'all, but y'all helped me. And God gave me another family. Mr. Johnson, Detroit Recovery Project, helped me so much. Whenever they ask me to do anything, I am available for them. But I work for George Page for Ask the Messengers TV program. It's a new program that just came out. We do recovery stories to help reach people in churches that might not heard about a recovery. So that's my story.
All right, God bless everybody. My name is Cedric Banks. I'm a pastor. I pastor a church located on 7 Mile and Gratiot inside the Wow Center. Also host a television show called The Community Show, Be Restored TV show. One of the top TV shows in the city now. Bring on everybody with major resources from poverty up to the mayor of the city of Detroit. And I just thank God for this opportunity here today. I thank God for Officer Hill giving me this opportunity here. And just listening to the recovery people, I just want to say that is a blessing. You can do anything you put your mind to, but you got to have it within you though. It's got to be within you. It's got to be within you. And you got to have that desire to be delivered. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to be showing the documentary. Right after the documentary, we'll be opening up for Q&A, and the panel will then sit on the other side of the table and answer any questions.
I have a relative, first of all, heroin destroyed one whole side of my family on my mom's side. I have a relative who committed murder and bank robbery in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania when she was 15 years old, and she became the longest serving inmate in Pennsylvania corrections as a juvenile. She died at age 62 in Muncie Women's Correctional Facility, and she's a hero in our family. We loved her. We let her know that we loved her. Even though she committed that crime with a couple other juveniles back in the 70s. And the state of Pennsylvania called us and asked us if we grant her her request for the governor to release her, to commute her sentence, where will she go? Can she come back to you? Can she come back to your family? And our family said yes. She got clean in prison. And I just wanted to share that. These stories struck me, just the importance of letting the people know that while they're going through recovery, because back when she went through all of that, she was dealing with some gender issues and her sexuality. She was afraid to let the family know that she was gay. Of course, we knew that, but she thought she was hiding it from us. So things like that people go through. It's important to keep the lines of communication open and let them know that you love them even though they're going through some struggles. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hi, my name is Deb Over Mitchell, and I just wanted to make a comment and say I was really struck by the person in recovery that said that what they got from their using friends that they didn't get from their friends and family was support. Yeah. And that was like mind-blowing. And I've worked with, in the recovery community and in the treatment side for about 10 years, in the prevention side for about 15 years. And so I have seen people who have used and those people who, you know, haven't used yet, and seeing the struggles that they've gone through. And I just think, I just want to commend Andre for this film, because that's one thing I have been wanting for my clients, is to be able to see people of color who can talk about issues that they've had, both mental and physical and psychological, in a way that our kids can understand and relate to. I work in a lot of the schools with our kids now, and a lot of what I hear them saying is, that's not real. You know, that doesn't really happen. My mom and my dad use drugs, they're okay. But one of the things that we need is, number one, to show them that it's not okay. And that not only that, but you are destroying your body and your health. But we also need to support them as they are going through whatever they're going through, and not to push them away like I see. And I certainly understand both sides of it. Families get tired of being stolen from and lied to, and all those types of things. But that's what we in the prevention and treatment community, in my mind, we take up that place of support. We take up that place of education. We take up that place of surrounding them with what they need to get well until they can go back home. So thank you so much for that film. It's going to make a big difference in my kid's life.
Okay, so I enjoyed the documentary. I related to it also. So my question is, for our I have two grandsons who are addicted to the weed, and they feel that the weed is not a drug because it's on every other corner, and they give me all these excuses. So what can I do to help them realize that that weed is burning their brain cells and, you know, all the other things that happens from weed? And I don't think they drink, but I know if he don't have no weed, he like a little mouse.
So I'm the DEA guy, and I'm anti-marijuana. I do a lot of prevention and education talks, and so it's no surprise to anybody that the DEA guy is anti-marijuana. So a lot of times, I'm not that effective of a messenger when it comes to marijuana, because people think that I'm biased, and of course I'm anti-marijuana. But when you talk to people, and that's why the folks in recovery, I think, might be the best messenger to talk about the dangers of marijuana and what that might lead to, and the addictive properties of marijuana. Because over the last 16 years, since I have done a lot of education and prevention, I've become friendly with folks that work in the recovery centers, and they'll tell you without question a certain percentage of regular marijuana users become addicted to that drug. And as the THC levels have increased in marijuana, the negative effects of that drug have increased as well. And so there's no question about it that marijuana does have addictive properties. Probably the DEA and the law enforcement guys are the wrong people to discuss that, because our message sometimes gets blurred. But it is true, and those folks that go through recovery and are in the treatment arena are the best ones to speak to that. But we are, right now, our society is at somewhat of a crossroads. There is some acceptance to drug use right now in our society. I mean, we just have to drive up and down this road and see all the medical marijuana dispensaries that we see, right? And so young people get the message that marijuana is not dangerous, and we've got decades of research that show us when perception of risk for a drug goes down, use is going to increase. And so we're at that point right now, and so, you know, we need to speak out against all drug use. And I know we're focusing on the opiates a lot tonight or today, but But we kind of need to focus on all drug use. We need to focus on certainly the painkiller epidemic and how it leads to addiction and leading to heroin. But we've got a big problem with cough syrups in certain parts of this city too. We need to talk about how dangerous and potentially deadly and addictive that is, as well as marijuana and other drugs. So we need to, I think, look at it from a holistic approach. It's not just one type of drug, it's all these substances. It's alcohol too.
And marijuana, he ended up abusing cocaine and heroin, but he started with marijuana. Marijuana is a gateway, and then it tears down your vital organs. So you have to offer them deterrence. There's a youth deterrent program at the Reentry Center, the Ryan Correctional Facility. Jeff Allison is his name. You contact him. You could take your grandsons there. They could spend a day and talk to prisoners there. That's an effective deterrent. You can bring them down 36th District Court, allow them to sit and watch drug court in process, so that we have some effective deterrence in place, because they're enjoying it now, but the long-term adverse effect is going to hurt them. So what we can do is exactly what these panel members said, and that's to establish some effective deterrence.
I'm back. I'm residing here at Positive Images for Women and Children. I'm back off of a 5-year relapse. And I also lost my children, not to death, but through the state. And I'm a West Sider. So majority of the police officers in the neighborhood knew my routine and everything. And it got to the point to where I lost my children. All of this happened in 1 month. I lost my children, had breast cancer, caught a stroke, and I had pneumonia, and I wanted to die. And so one day and this goes out to all the officers in the house, because I feel that I owe this to them. They saved my life. The officer seen me and he arrested me. And I always told myself that I wanted to go get help, because I have to live for my children. So I give Detroit police stations, I give them much, much, much praise. Thank you for saving my life. I have been clean. I've been clean. I got arrested. I had to do time. I got caught. Delivering. I was grateful for the 30 days I did in the county. I was grateful for my probation officers. I have 2. Now that I'm living my life the way I want to live my life now, and I give it all to the Detroit police station. They saved my life. I was living in hell. I was living in abandoned houses where rats and raccoons and no doors and no windows, and my life just went downhill after they took my children. And the only person that came besides God, my higher power, the only person that came to my rescue was this police officer and his team. So my hat, and I love you guys. They do work.
Okay, that was a blessing. My name is Pastor Cedric Banks, and you were praying out, right? You were praying, you say? And sometimes God will do things his way. And his way was he sent you an angel that allowed you to go to jail so you can get yourself together. And that's just how God will do things. First of all, I want to thank Andre for putting this on. This is very inspirational. It's just a blessing. Everybody in this community need to be here because this is just very inspiring. But that just goes to show that you can do anything that you want to do when you have it in you. You got to have that desire to want to get delivered, to want to come out of the situation you in, to want to break free. But you got to have it in you. That's the only way you go come out. All right, I have a question here.
I'm tired of it. I will, and I don't have a problem pulling him out. My own stuff now, my own Grand Boulevard and then Wood. And I'm constantly confronting these people standing in line when I know this child ain't over 15 or 14 years old. They buying blunt wraps and all this kind of stuff. All of them got the same answer. Why don't you check the ID? I say, I know her. I know him. you know, and if they don't come in there with a pamp on, they can buy anything. And I just wonder, why are these businesses continuing to get away with this? I know that there's a lot of apathy in the community, I understand that. But in terms of the legal departments, the police departments, and police frequent these areas on a regular basis. They go in, and you know, they go in with the weed in the air, you know, and if you stay there long enough, you're gonna get high without hitting it, and get contacts and all that kind of stuff. And why is that tolerated? Why is it allowed to continue?
They're having meetings with the retailers and businesses, and those businesses are being pressured into the green light program. Let me just say, the businesses that are resisting, you may not want to patronize those businesses. You may want to look at why are they resisting. I can't say exactly why, but I find it suspicious that some of the businesses who are resisting are trying to intimidate the new businesses coming in not to sign up for the Green Light Project. The Green Light Program, those businesses who have those cameras on their property have seen a 60% decrease in crime.
Platform the other day with the Detroit City Council, and I was speaking to them that every business and establishment should have green light in this city, in this community. Green light is affordable. If you are a business owner, green light only costs like maybe $100 a month. The crime has been tremendously reduced, 60-70% breakdown in crime. And if a business owner cannot afford $100, $125 a month for your business to be safe, a business owner shouldn't even be in business.
I just want to say one thing, and that is, first of all, we need to understand that we have power. So when we go into a business and see them doing that, we need to turn around and walk out. You know, how many of us just go on up there and say, you know what, that's a shame they doing that. I'll take $20 worth of gas. I need to take my business someplace else. So we as a community and as a people need to understand that the police can't be everywhere, but we are. So we need to tell our friends, you know, I don't have a problem standing outside and say, you know what, they in there selling minors. You need to take your business someplace else. Money talks, and we have lots of it to spend and talk with.
Can I get a witness?